Hey guys, what's going on? RetroGamer here, and today we're looking at the new Anbernic RG Rotate. Let's take a look. So this is the Anbernic RG Rotate, a new handheld by Anbernic, and let me tell you, this thing is very cool. Yes, it's a simple gimmick, but it's something we really haven't seen before as far as retro gaming handhelds go. This really reminds me of those old Sidekick phones from like 2009, 2010. My cousin had this really cool Tony Hawk Sidekick phone back in 2009. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So seeing this in handheld form, it's a really cool gimmick. I think it's just an awesome little handheld. It's not perfect. There are things that are wrong with it, but this is probably one of the best handhelds Anbernic has ever made. Like the RGDS that they made a while ago, unfortunately it was kind of a flop. But then they came right back around and bring something out that just was super interesting. Like man, they really picked it back up. This thing is really cool. So the Anbernic RG Rotate is not only cool, but it's very impressive because of what it can run. Like we're seeing games running from PlayStation 2 and GameCube and stuff. Now, not everything is gonna run perfectly, and I'm not gonna go in depth into the higher end emulation. I'll show off some games that they have on here, but I'm not gonna go in depth of that. If you wanna go more in depth, I highly encourage you to look at other reviews and stuff. I've seen a ton of people test out a lot of different GameCube games and PlayStation 2 games, and a lot of them run really well, surprisingly. The problem I have with it and why I'm not going to go into depth with it is because, I mean, look at the controls. We have D-pad, we have a couple buttons, you know, a couple shoulder buttons. Like, what you can do with the higher emulation is really limited for controls. There's not a lot of options here. You don't even have analog sticks or a second analog stick, but like, where are you gonna put them, right? Like this thing's so small, where are you gonna put it? But, you know, with that being said, a lot of the other games run surprisingly well. A lot of times N64 is something people ask about, and a lot of times these handhelds, they just don't like it at all. From my experience playing, I didn't test, you know, a ton of games, but from my experience in N64, I was very surprised. It ran completely fine. It was a very, very nice experience. Now, it's gonna be a bit compromised because, you know, not all the buttons are here, but if you're willing to kind of remap some of the buttons or play games that don't really use the C buttons or just kind of work around it, it's probably going to be pretty good for some N64 games. Not all N64 games. There are a lot of N64 games that do use the C buttons, so that's kind of an issue because, again, there's not a lot of buttons here. But, you know, the emulation in general is very impressive in this thing for such a small little package. And what I like about it most, I think, is the fact that it's basically just an Android like little tablet, but with a button controls. Like that's what it really is, because you can take it out of this like Anbernic mode, and then it's just a touchscreen Android device. You can watch YouTube on it. You can, you know, hook it up to the internet. You can use this thing as basically like a smart device with a gaming controller. Like that's basically just what it is. I think that's really cool. I love you can do more than just games on this thing. I think that's very fun. But all in all, this is a very impressive handheld. I really like the thing. The fact that it's like $100 is very impressive. There are so many handhelds. The handheld market, I thought it would pop a while ago, man. It just keeps going. It just keeps getting flooded and flooded. And like one hand, I think that's kind of a bad thing. The other hand though, if Anbernic is gonna be one of the companies to keep things interesting and unique, then I'm all for it. As long as we have interesting things, as long as we don't have these cookie cutter like R36 handhelds, I've seen so many of those. Like as long as we keep it unique here, I'm all for the handheld scene. But like if we're just gonna like just copy the same thing over and over again, then it's like, now you're just flooding the market for no reason. But the Anbernic RG Rotate, I think, is a very, very nice handheld. Not perfect, but it's one of the best ones they've ever made. The only things I really don't like about it are the speaker is on the back of the handheld. I wish that it was on like the front, because a lot of times your hand will cover up that speaker, so you kind of have to move your hands a little bit with it. And the D-pad, it has issues. Not all units have this issue, but I was looking it up, and there's already a fix for this thing where like the D-pad, it doesn't really register like one input, it registers like multiple inputs. Like I was trying to play Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and when you're trying to go straight, and like it's going other directions, like there's something wrong with the D-pad. Not all units are facing this thing, but some units are facing this thing where the D-pad's like using multiple directions. It killed me many times. I tried to play twice, and it just it just killed me. So D-pad, some units are facing a little bit of issue. The speaker placement's kind of bad. And the only other thing I don't like is, so you can change out the small triggers on the back. The problem is you have to take off the back plate, which would be fine, but it requires this special like screwdriver bit that I just didn't have on hand, so I wasn't able to take it off. So from a consumer standpoint, that's kind of bad. I wish they would have just used regular screws. I don't know why they had to use these like hex screws, or like I don't even know what kind of bit it is, but I couldn't get those off. But all in all, I'm gonna wrap this up. Is it a good handheld? Yes. Should you buy it? It depends what you're looking for, but the fact that it runs very high emulation games for like $100, and we see a lot of other handhelds that only go up to PlayStation 1 for $100, I think this is probably one of the best things you could buy right now. It is a very, very good handheld, and I highly recommend it. But guys, that's all I have to say on the Anbernic Rotate. If you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for another review. See you guys then.